is for Will. What did you end up doing for team building on the Monday after the event?
I regain. Okay, I'll take a little breather. Like I told you, this is gonna be a terrible idea.
It's fine, because we're synced now.
No, this is a new one. Yeah, don't worry. This is a new one.
No, but bro, you know what we need to do?
Yeah.
We need to do a run test first,
Yeah,
bro.
Ash, by the way, when you're reading out the rapid fire questions, you have to say this question's for Will.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Bang.
So question 1 comes from Aaron Sharp on Twitter, and it's how do you utilize your analysts? We really divide the workload quite a lot. We delegate tasks to each other. For me, a lot of my workload consists of on scrim days, ensuring we get all the data we can from our scrim sets. Obviously, matches, we do the same thing, but scrims are where you're going to see the most improvement and where we can really target what we want to improve in terms of gameplay, whether that's improving a certain hill or improving a statistical input like engagements for a player. When we're seeing progress in the way we want to see, that's where we know coming to LAN we're going to be able to make an impact, and we know we can take these matches on LAN. Obviously we want to take them online too, but if we're seeing progress in scrims, it's why we're confident when we still come to LAN, because we set those goals, we know what we're going to work towards, and we're taking the right steps. Halfway through the season, how are we feeling about the year so far, and what are we looking forward to for the rest of the year? This can be for the team and or the coaching staff.
I need water.
He's tweaking.
As of now, at least, like we're 7th in rankings. I think after the first 2 stages, I'm quite happy with like the overall performance that we've shown on LAN. When it comes down to online, though, I think it's kind of a thing where we need to get out of that slump. We need to start winning matches. We need to really try and focus on qualifying for champs, because I think champs is like one of our main goals overall as a team. As we know, like LAG never qualified for champs in the past, so I think it's one of our biggest focus, honestly, to try and make that champs thing happen. Working with the players has been amazing since day one. Although like we've had some bad stretches again online, the boys never stopped grinding, never stopped believing in the process, and I think that's like the biggest thing with us is like we're a really like resilient team. And honestly, I have only positive stuff about the players. At least for us, for coaches, I think it's a thing where we need to keep adapting to the league, keep adapting to this environment that we've been put on. I think we're getting much better at it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's been great overall, and I'm looking forward to the second half of the season, honestly.
The next question, it comes from Twitter. It's at Nicholas Conte, number 2. How will you address the issues with consistency and struggles in certain modes? I think that at the end of Major 1, we obviously had an issue with our S&D. We have shown to fix that issue so far. We've made massive strides, which we'll touch on, I think, in a later question. But also, off the back of Major 1, we had a massive update in our hardpoint. And naturally, off the back of a top 6 placement, you'd think that the trajectory of hardpoint would increase. I think we were even on our hardpoint. And so something that us as coaches are going to put on our heads and on our shoulders is the way in which we approached practice post-update wasn't correct. And it took us, I'd say maybe half the stage, a little bit longer than that maybe, just to address that and correct that, in which we completely U-turn the way in which we approach practice and the way in which we look at the process and look at our ways of respawn.
I just think you've waffled a lot.
That was good.
I think you waffled a lot.
Why?
Just get to your point.
No, but that's what you did for the analyst shit.
You went fucking crazy on the analyst shit.
Did I?
Yeah, you just cut me off as well, man. Like, oh well.
The fourth question is for Will. It's from Reddit, and it's from Patrick Gumto. What is the pre- and post-practice routine like for the coaching staff?
So on a day-to-day basis, our team day starts at 12:30 every day. But before that, we have often calls with the coaches to prepare the day. I personally get up super early, and at 10 a.m. in the morning, I start my day of preparing for the scrims. So I'll rewatch VODs, I'll note scrims, I'll just think about ways for us to like focus on our day. We have something called upload and download. So upload is the first thing in the morning with the players. We just go through VODs together or through like certain like points that we want to talk about. And then after screen we have the download, which is pretty much like talking about our old day, how we felt about the day. Like players can just like say whatever they want about how they feel. And then after that we have team VOD sessions. After scrims, for me personally, I rewatch the VOD fully. And sometimes I take notes, sometimes I don't, but I always try to rewatch the VOD fully. and I'll also watch VODs with players individually whenever they want. So that's pretty much it.
The fifth question is for myself. It's why do you think the team is so competitive over LAN compared to online? Obviously, we have our issues online, which are clear in terms of winning matches. It's something that we're going to really try and focus on for this next stage. The environment of being around the LAN does help our players and help our team, especially even us as coaches, just being around the same people, the energy. It's, I guess, the power of having a dedicated facility for a lot of these teams that we just, at this season, don't have the luxury of. The next question is, why is no one talking about your S&D strats? The whole community is sleeping on them. At the end of Major 1, it was no secret that S&D wasn't strong. It was our weakest mode. We had done an enormous amount of work to correct that. We also brought on the help of G Bursted, who has been helping us with our S&D philosophy. Basically found the issue that our adjustments in rounds, in mid rounds, and even just in general, our adjustments weren't there in terms of when it comes to a full scale S&D match. And what John really brought on is helping us in accountability and helping us in the way that we can have a philosophy about our S&D. The seventh question is for Will. It's from Reddit again. It's from Classic223. Being the most experienced player, I'm curious what Assault brings to the team outside of gameplay.
Adam's been amazing to work with. Aside from gameplay, like being a veteran, I think Adam's communication is probably some of the best in the league, honestly. A big thing when we brought Adam in was to help Justice develop as well. I think as well, Adam is a really, really hard worker. I don't think people realize how much time he actually puts in the game. Adam knows everything about the game, all the intricacies, all the spawns, and he's doing such a good job at like communicating everything in the moment for the team. So obviously, like, his gameplay sometimes will be affected by like how much things you need to actually think about on the moment. That's been the biggest thing with Adam is, like, honestly, he's too selfless at times.
The next question is, what makes COD coaches so important, with a lot of people under the impression of coaches not being all that necessary in COD specifically? What are some things people don't realize about COD coaching?
I think the biggest thing for COD coaches is not only the gameplay aspect of things, but also like the team management aspect of things. It's much more of a knowing your players, like knowing their psychology and how they are as individuals, and like just knowing how to play the game. And I think that's like the biggest issue with some of the coaches in the league right now is that they focus on the game too much, but not enough on the personalities that they have to deal with. That's a big point for coaches, I think, is managing personalities. I think it's also making sure that like everyone's accountable for what they're doing on a day-to-day basis, helping them finding better life habits, really like pushing everyone individually to be their best version of themselves, I could say. Not only in game but out of game, and I think this is like the biggest thing for us, at least as coaches, and being new school coaches, we could say, is to like really try and like bring that sports aspect of coaching into COD to like really try and like create like a new dynamic in Call of Duty. When it comes down to roster construction, I think that some people overlook personalities and how they will mesh together. I think a lot of teams have been built simply around like past accomplishments or like how straight people shoot, which in itself is not a bad thing, but there's much more to a roster than that. I think that when you gotta construct a roster, you gotta think about, okay, how will this personality mesh with this one? How will this guy be in moments where like he's vulnerable? What will happen if like a team struggles? Will they break on themselves, or will they try to like strive and go past it? It's like the biggest thing with like coaches as well these days. Like they gotta recognize how to create like an actual roster that functions.
The last section is a rapid fire section. Who on the team has the most aura? I think the answer is Justice. I think Justice is this mysterious person who's really funny, and if you guys ever get the chance to talk to him, just quiz him, question him, ask him a bunch of stuff, and you'll really you'll just end up laughing the whole time, really, basically. So yeah, Justice has the most aura. Would you say you have to be a professional player before becoming a coach? No, I would flat out say no to that. I don't think you have to be a professional player to become a coach. I think it's obviously really helpful if you have that background knowledge. But what I will say is, if you haven't been a professional player, you probably also have some new ideas, some new ways to approach things. Call of Duty coaching is definitely needs revamping in a lot of ways. And we tried new ideas, new things, and we always get a bit of pushback. But when they end up coming to fruition, they tend to be pretty good. So new ideas, you don't need to be a pro player. Who is the most different in the league when scrimming compared to matches?
Before I answer this, I gotta think about this one. Thieves, plain and simple.
How much VOD do you review a week?
Every day we watch about an hour every morning to make sure like we're ready for scrims and make sure we have the right ideas in our minds. And after that, we will do maybe an hour, maybe sometimes 2 after scrims. So anywhere around maybe 10 hours a week potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you guys going to emulate your Highrise S&D prowess on other maps? If you look at our stage entirely, we've been winning S&Ds on really a lot of the maps, not just Highrise. So teams are letting us have Highrise, so we'll happily take it. But if teams start banning it, we'll show our prowess on other maps. There's no problem. The next question is for all of us to answer. COD Champs, Game 7, Round 11 versus Celium. Who on the team would you want to clutch the 1v1?
She can start.
Connor done it. Connor 1v2. That is fun too.
Yeah, Diamond Con probably, I'd say, yeah.
I'm going to throw in Assault. I think we've seen the formal 1v1. Been there, done that. I trust my champ to do it again. The next question is, do you think the disparity between your performances online and on LAN could jeopardize your chances at making champs? It doesn't seem like LANimals is as rewarding as it was in the past with CDL point system.
No, I think we're currently in a good position for champs. We've had 2 harder online stages. We have 2 easier ones coming up in terms of opponents. We're going to need to win online matches to make champs. We know that. We can't just rely on these bracket runs, or we can't. So we're going to win online matches. We're going to get the points. We think we're in a good place.
The last question is, how do you guys help yourself and players power through all the BS of nonsense and social media?
Honestly, the best way to do it is simply close your eyes. Just don't look at it. I mean, yeah, honestly. Just, if you don't want to watch a flank, don't watch it. Don't take the things at art. Just literally, close your screen.
All those stuff's the entertainment for the fans. As long as you take it as an entertainment form, you can enjoy them if you want. But if you start taking that stuff to heart, you start really making it affect you. Just turn it off. Don't watch it.